Well, you know about the recent one with this this whole Charlie Kirk shooting, right? I mean, the shooter. So I just saw this yesterday. The shooter, the picture they keep showing of him, he's got his screensaver up. It's a common screensaver, but it's stopped on a particular image, and people were like, "Well, what is that image?" It's Goat Island. What? Goat Island? What a coincidence! And then you go down that rabbit hole, and it seems as if there's actually bases being built there. And there's a guy who found, now, of course, it's the internet. People like to be little pranksters and all this, but this guy seemed to use Google Earth to find a road, and above the road, it says Valhalla. So then you loop in Kash Patel.
Rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Why is he saying see you in Valhalla? Is Charlie Kirk over here at this island, Goat Island? I don't know. But all the 33s, all this shit, it makes you think.
Yo, I hate numerology. By the way, I hate all that number shit so much, where to the point where I want to like not hear anybody out about it because it's annoying to me. But what is with 33? I mean, at this point, they say 33 so goddamn much. I'm like, are you trying to force me to accept there's a thing with 33? You, the makers of 33 events?
Well, I'm with you that I don't like numbers. It was never my strong suit. There's only a couple important ones to remember. You know, you got your 9 and 11, the 1 and the 0. When you see these kind of things around an event, it means something to these people. But 33 obviously is the Freemasonic calling card. And you have Stephen Paddock at the Harvest Festival shooting from the 32nd floor plus the lobby. It's always this like 32/33. Like who engineered that? And then you have, in this case, Charlie Kirk has 3 rows of hats on his desk that are 47, 47, 47. Sure, Trump's the 47th president. Nothing suspicious there. 4 and 7 is 11. So you have 11, 11, 11, 33. Why do you have 3 rows? Why not 1 row? Why aren't the hats just scattered all over the table? Why doesn't it just say turning point on these hats? Why are you even promoting 40? So, and then you got Kash Patel saying that they found the guy after 33 hours.
33 hours. We have made historic progress for Charlie.
And they didn't find shit. First of all, this is why that's actually suspicious. Because Kash Patel acted as if they did some kind of great police work, and the guy's dad didn't tell him to turn himself in.
Right.
So who cares how many hours it took for the guy to, you know, there's like Zero Dark 30, that stupid Osama bin Laden movie that's fake.
Yeah.
They got Osama. They got Osama bin Laden off a walk-in. A Pakistani disgruntled guy came and go, yeah, he's staying over here. I'm mad about it.
Yeah.
That got him. There was no plucky redhead female agent that the men didn't believe and whatever the fuck that was. So being that this is just like a low effort thing to catch the guy, very odd to say 33 hours.
Yeah, and you say it 3 times. There, No Agenda plays all the best clips, and they played the clip of him saying this. He says, we found the guy after 33 hours, and then he continues on, he rambles on, and he says, just inside of 36 hours, actually 33 hours. And then again, he says 33 hours. And it's like, why are you repeatedly emphasizing specifically 33 hours? That's not even a normal number unit that people think of in time. 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. You know, that's normal. Right. 33 is not normal at all. And you say it 3 times. And how are you going to pinpoint? Did you look at your watch? Oh, it's the 33rd hour. Why don't you say a day and a half? There's so many ways you could phrase it. That's what's crazy is when you start picking out the symbolism, people say, oh, you're just looking for that stuff. I'm like, but you have to consider the infinite way things could be arranged, and they happen to be arranged this way. That's interesting.
This is what I tell everybody when they like think it's far-fetched. Like, you've heard of gangs, right? And
there you go.
Heard of hip-hop. Yeah. They all do that. You think nothing of it. They put their gang signs on things in a way that only another gang. That's Twilight language, by the way. That's what the hell that is. That's
See, people have different interpretations. You can look at an event and see all the symbolism, and that's just a fact. And then you have to reverse engineer, well, why would it be there? And some people think it is a signal to other people in the big club that this was one of our events. And Michael Hoffman, he's more of the opinion that it's actually encoded to create, induce a Twilight-like state on the public. He thinks it has more of a MK Ultra adjacent magical occult purpose by seeding these things in. It kind of puts us in a different brain state and allows these operations to go through without much criticism. I think that'd be more his take.
Well, you know, the My Pet Goat reading by George W. Bush.
Great example.
Steal. Yes, steal. Read these words the fast way. Get ready. Playing. Yes, playing. Get ready. Must. Yes, must. Let's read these words the fast way without making a mistake. Get ready. Kite. Yes, kite. Get ready. Kit. Yes, kit. Get ready. Steal. Yes, steal. Get ready. Playing. Yes, playing. Get ready. Must. Yes, must.
As soon as you, and that's what a lot of that number shit I think has to do with something like that. If you're confused, good, like you're supposed to be, it's supposed to be like disorienting to people, you know.
Question: have you guys seen the aerial shots of where Kirk was shot?
The French, I'm telling you, the French occultists.
I'm surprised you put this. So this is the aerial shot I was talking about.
Yeah, that's the menorah where Charlie Kirk was shot.
So this is what. So I was getting bombed by this guy yesterday, saying, "Oh my God, look! It looks like a menorah." His theory is that the bullet actually came from behind.
It does look like one.
He said the bullet came from behind camera 4, and there's a ballistics analysis he does saying that looks like an exit wound, that it actually came from here and exited over here because he was shot from behind. So anyway,
menorah where? Upside down?
What's up?
What do you mean a menorah?
No, that's what he sent me. He said, "Oh, look at this. It looks like a menorah. The guy that shot him was from behind, and the bullet came through here and exited. That's why this was an exit wound, according to what this guy was saying." So I want to show
like a Hanukkah gift, is what you're telling me.
According to this guy, yes, but you know.
Oh, I lost my hat. Now people know I'm Van Miller the clone. Now people know they cloned Van Miller. God damn it! Wait,
we spent a lot of time with the glasses, by the way, for the audience out there, because with the glasses were too similar.
Here, let me put on my Van Miller glasses to fucking. Okay. Thanks, Van.
There you go, bro.
See how we formed.
My twin brother.
You have the black. You have the mirror universe bottom of your beard. Now let me look at this with Van Miller eyes real quick. Where's the menorah? I'm looking. It looks like a house.
Upside down.
Well, that's not necessarily what I think. I mean, to me, it looks like just a place where people meet. But according to this gentleman, he said, "Okay, this looks like an upside down menorah. From the side that you actually light the menorah is where the gunshot came." So he was on that tip.
I mean, I bet all gunshots follow that pattern. Hey, but look, Utah. What is this? Utah State or something? What's the school?
I don't know the name of the school, but in Utah, yeah.
I mean,
in a city that is proposed to be the biggest data center in the world, $40 billion data center proposed to be there.
Yeah, it's going to be the Akashic record of this nation, thanks to the big, beautiful bill.
I think that's why Israeli intelligence had the lay of the land already. They were scouting it for that mission, and they just thought, that's a good place to kill Charlie Kirk too.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe a menorah, but I'm sure there's a pattern to it because it's a state school in Utah, and Utah is, run by at the core, the hardcore occultists. The Mormons are a warlock club. All the followers that are nice, which I know many of them, you're cattle. That's why you got magic underpants on, because they drain your. And I love Mark Window's channel for this, is because he really gets into that about how they're feeding off you. He's not even saying how I'm saying it, but there's a corrupt priest class always that is making the human cattle and breeding them.
And also, of course, with the Freemasonic theurgical organizations, we get this obsession with ritual, which is actually quite amusing. The neurosis, which came from the Talmud later into the Kabbalah, is very evident in the neurosis and ritual of occult Freemasonry. And that is what we are going to be getting through tonight. In other words, the people who went through this maybe came out the other side and realized that they'd had their time wasted and their energy harvested.
Yep.
So like this might be laid out like a menorah. I don't know. I thought they were more Muslim-y than they were, but they like every symbol, right? The Mormons, they got everything but a cross on their on their main temple.
No.
Another thing with the Charlie Kirk thing that I'm just hearing about is his wife. Apparently, his wife was she's a pageant winner. I knew that much.
Yeah,
she was a pageant winner under a pageant that Trump owned, and then Charlie Kirk's father. Like this might need to be verified, but Charlie Kirk's father was an architect who worked on a Trump tower. Is that if that's true? This is a crazy little
what's his dad's name? Captain, I believe, right?
Captain Kirk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would even add a little more to that.
James
I mean, there's information out there that Trump, in terms of turning point, now they don't talk about this openly, but Trump saw Charlie Kirk as a son. They were involved together in the launch of Turning Point a lot earlier than we're aware of. I could tell you that. I mean, this was years in the making. There's Republicans that'll, talk about that, about how they were in cahoots with one another for a real long time. I don't think they talk about him being essentially another son to Trump, which is
Why, because he's 7 feet tall also?
Yeah.
Well, that's why.
Well, Kirk is a tall dude. I didn't know that.
So apparently this is true. He was an architect in the Trump Tower in New York. But then take these couple of facts I threw out, and then you try to reverse engineer. Well, how are they all related? You say Trump saw him as a son.
They're related by Israel.
That's
how Charlie 2 days before, and also because I didn't give. First of all, I remember when that guy he's on Jimmy's show, and I trash him hard for this online. I mean, obviously you keep things to words unless you're a scumbag or you're programmed to kill. But he was sincere, I think, that guy, because my buddy Dave Smith went on. They were all calling Charlie Kirk anti-Semitic, and Laura Loomer was up his ass, and all these people are, oh, why don't you just say you were an anti-Semite? And that guy was tepid at best about his things other than abortion. Like, the idea that he's an extremist is so beyond retarded.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And only the most programmed cattle of the coastal elite would call him like far right or think of themselves as left. Like how Bruce Springsteen would be left to a fucking moron. That's how these people think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was no reason to shoot him at all. Like, he literally, there's 20 other pundits. But here's a reason, though. He had the largest group of young conservatives. Hey, who's been losing young conservatives recently? Because they have been broadcasting their own crimes proudly on TikTok and proudly saying the things they're doing. Oh, wait, that's Israel, of course, our best friend in aircraft carrier.
Right.
So I don't, and fairness to him, I didn't know shit about what went on for like 20. Why would I even have looked into it? A guy working in showbiz. How would that help me to know any truth about that? It wouldn't. So once you find it out, you can't unsee it if you're sincere. And that guy found out, and he couldn't unsee it. And that's why I buy that somebody said, yeah, Israel would kill me. Because when you have a platform like that and you go the wrong way, that's why Rogan's smart as shit, dude. And I watch people, why did he let blah, blah, blah talk? Yo, the biggest podcast in the world. Do you understand you could be killed?
He's trying to stay alive.
Yeah.
However he dies, it's a conspiracy.
A couple 100 million doesn't hurt either.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
By the way, however I die, it was murder. I want everybody to know that it's a conspiracy. No matter, even if it's by my own actions, it was a conspiracy. So Vem comes on, tells his awful story on Jimmy's show. And what's the cop's name again?
Chad Bianco and Coronado's the other guy.
Jack Bianco?
Chad Bianco, the guy that's running for governor right now. Yeah. Utah boy.
Okay. Do you know who Chad Bianco is, Craig?
I was learning a little bit about it before we got rolling here, but scary thing to be accused of attempting to assassinate
real
a president.
Quick, Vem, just real quick, sum up what happened with Chad Bianco. You're going to report on the Trump rally. This is post the two guys that, were shooting at him ostensibly. And then, so you were going to report from Vegas, right?
Yeah, well, actually, it started off with a tip from Vegas where I heard about these trucks that were transporting illegal ballots, which you could find on our platform, America Happens. It's called the mother lode of all voter fraud. 150 semi-trucks and trailers transporting illegal ballots. That's why I was in California. And while I'm in California, I hear about the Trump rally. I've been to like 24 Trump rallies. So I call my buddy and get some tickets to go to a Trump rally. And I'm about
Trump tickets, dude.
Huh?
So funny to get a pair of hot tickets to the Trump rally.
Yeah. So, I didn't even go into the Trump rally. I outside of the Trump rally, about 1.2 miles away, I saw a deputy and I drove up to him and said, hey, look, I'm from Nevada. I'm a Trump caucus captain. I also ran for office. I'm really just trying to make him feel at ease because I have a couple of firearms that I just happen to have because I was doing surveillance in a dangerous place in California after driving out from Nevada there. And so I tell these guys, I even offer them. It was legal
how you had them also, by the way. You're supposed to have them in the trunk.
And I offer for them to hold on to it. I mean, I'm just trying to and put these guys at ease, trying to go enjoy the Trump rally and thinking, oh, the worst case scenario is they're going to tell me to make a U-turn and go back home, and I'm going to have to do this 4-hour sucky drive back home. So really, it was just full transparency, being completely honest. And then Chad Bianco, opportunist, wanting to run for governor, he wanted to use that for his own fame. And this is what we've been fighting for the last 10 months, is exposing this guy, because although he's a Republican, Greg and I were talking, we're not necessarily what we do. My business partner and I isn't necessarily a Republican Democrat. It's like scumbag and not scumbag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if somebody's
who believes in that shit anymore? I guess a lot of people, but it's sad. And that guy, so I was looking him up when you came on the show. So they stitched you up good. And I remember when the news report came out, I think we first talked about it on Jimmy Dore, and I was like, I don't know. This doesn't. It made it was very strange, because I remember you're like, I like Trump. I went there to report on it. And so so I didn't know what to make of it, and then I forgot about it until we had John again.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, I know it caused real problems for you.
Yeah.
And people just forget about the shit. They just move on.
It's crazy. That's a crazy part, is when somebody does something like that to you and you got 50 pages of BS, it definitely makes a significant change in your life for the worse. But the crazy thing is, none of these guys are held accountable. You know what I mean? Chad Bianco has got a sheriff's badge, and he uses that to cause crimes against us civilians. And this is not the first time, by the way, but why isn't he being held to account? So this is where the whole,
If okay, for you to come out there, so there was already things were heated up, okay, and this guy, and I know he's scumbag opportunities because I watched the video of him kneeling in front of BLM.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is like a sheriff kneeling before BLM is the lowest form of shit I could think of. First of all, BLM's a fake. At this point, at the beginning, I understand people. Hey, there's a problem with shootings, blah blah blah, and they don't know anything about anything, and there is massive racism since the beginning of America. Of course there is. However, that group was horseshit the whole time. You bought a fat bitch a house if you sent them. I don't even think she gave any to Hamas like she promised.
Mm-hmm.
So fuck you if you care about BLM now. That motherfucker is kneeling in front of them like a punk. Then he's arresting a guy who's like, oh, I caught that just reeks of you follow trends on TikTok or Twitter with your agent to figure out what you should jump on. I imagine an agent.
I call him the OnlyFans sheriff. Same mode, same thing. You know what I mean? Putting gratuitous nonsense out there. His version of
like an Arpaio. He's like a Joe Arpaio kind of, but
yeah.
I don't even Arpaio. Although Joe Arpaio is such a piece of shit, but I don't remember him stitching up anybody as a presidential assassin. That's a bit of a. And the guy did that to you so casually. That means he's done. To be able to just do that, the first guy you find that I can make into something, you bring him to me. So to have a system set up like that, where you got deputies that will go along with it, and you would even be that that level of criminality means that motherfucker has done so much worse than that.
Yeah.
That's there's not a chance he's not involved in the deepest, darkest shit you can imagine, because the people who get involved in that are people that would do what he did.
Yeah. And then you go into that whole situation. You're like, all right, wait a minute. How did this guy do this? What's the ecosystem around them? And what you find is corrupt ass DAs, corrupt ass attorney generals. Then you dig into those people and you find out why they're corrupt. I'm not going to name the name, but one of the DAs involved in this whole matter, there's a few of them. His current wife was making adult films 20 years ago, and then they buried it. And guess why they buried it? Because this is the perfect tool. Should he misbehave? Should he go against the agenda? Should he go against the gang's agenda? Then guess what, man? Hey, your wife was making pornos 20 years ago. We're gonna destroy you in the news.
That's a lame ass blackmail, by the way, at this point. But I guess Utah is how it would work.
There's a lot of them. There's a lot of little triggers like that you see in these people. Bianco, dirty as can be, man. You search that guy's background, he's the exact opposite of what you're saying. Man, you actually said some really clever things on the Jimmy Dore podcast about these guys that are raised in Air Force bases and potential.
Was he raised on an Air Force base? Did you already tell me that?
I believe so. That's what he says in his biography.
That's not good. That's not.
And then by the way,
but it's a bad sign.
And then, by the way, his brother's the biggest LGBTQ plus CPS judge that has dozens of complaints against him for taking kids from families, and he has 4 adopted
right.
girls. So, I mean, you're going into some really nasty stuff. If this Chad Bianco was authentic
about that.
dude, he would have arrested his brother. He should have arrested his brother. The guy's got, I mean, investigate your brother. You know what I mean? You're like a MAGA guy. You're supposed to be pro-family, pro-constitution. Why don't you investigate your own brother? But then you realize it's all an ecosystem.